The resin on top, yes.
Yep.
Yup. I flatten mine down into little patties. I would take and get my fingers in some ashes or some shit so the resin wouldn't stick to my fingers, and then I'd pat that motherfucker down to a little patty, little hoppy puff, and put that and put that motherfucker on top of the bowl so that when it melts
And
just before
yeah,
just before the ends, so that it can still breathe under, just a little, just a little. And I know it, dude. Yesterday was loud as fuck, but dude, you missed some good ones. Like that motherfucker was funny. He started talking about Bill Cosby and roofies from the '80s. He's like, what he say? He
hockey
said,
pucks.
hey, yeah. He said, how the fuck you miss a hockey puck in your drink? Get the fuck out of here.
That
That
was
shit
pretty
was
funny
funny.
though.
Yeah,
Yo,
I didn't send him
he's
to
a
him.
funny dude.
He's loud
He's
as
a funny
fuck.
dude.
Yeah. He
But
rem-
he's one of those obnoxious funnies though, where it's funny the first
sometimes.
time you meet him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like 2, 3 days into it, you're like, all right, yeah, this is getting old type shit.
He reminded me of my buddy that passed away last year, Tyson, who I don't know if it's like a native sense of humor thing, but that hyper Native American thing, I just find it fucking hilarious. My buddy Tyson used to be just fucking like that, and I didn't remember dude from fucking nothing yesterday, so I didn't know who the fuck he was, but once we got to talking like that, it occurred to me later on in the evening. I was like, yo, that was why me and Tyson got along so fucking well. That and he was a hell of a wingman. He was a great fucking wingman. And he used to be funny the motherfucker like that. I remember the first time I met him was, when he was playing the guitar and shit. And I met him with his brother, and he was fucking selling, I was getting some smoke to him and shit. And fucking at the end of the evening, when we was getting ready to leave after the whole guitar thing, he's like, "Nah, my fingers are tired." I was like, "Damn, that motherfucker can play." We was walking outside, and we standing on his back patio. And this is like the first time I ever met Tyson. And he stood up. Tyson stood up to get something out of his pocket, and Jason just looked at him funny, like he thought he was gonna do something. And Jason said something. He said, "Man, I don't know what the fuck you standing up for. I thought me and you was finna go." Tyson was like, "Nah, I was just looking for my lighter. But if you want," he starts pulling off his jacket. Like, "We can go." I was fucking
Huh?
rolling. I was fucking rolling. He was not fucked up with like instantly. He's like, "Nah, what? But I mean, we can do something." And he starts taking off his jacket.
Stream
I
element
was
spot
fucking
running.
dying.
Emoji robot face.
Motherfucker was hilarious. We was at a party drunk one night. Some bitch was talking to him, and he was trying to say something, and she wouldn't shut the fuck up. And he finally got loud. He's like, "Hey, hey, you shut the fuck up when you're talking to me." That motherfucker was a clown. Highly fucking intelligent though. Like one of like maybe a handful of people in my whole life, you two included, that I can have an intellectual conversation with, and the motherfucker be able to keep up with me. You know what I mean? Everybody else is like I see that lost face over them.
Over
Like
the
they,
mic.
yeah, man, they can see that shit in most people, and I'm just like, never mind. You know, this to start talking to you in a tone like you're crazy. I'm just like, it's just shit registers fast, so I get ahead of people, and they're like, "How the fuck did he get there?" And only people of a certain IQ level can usually keep up. So
Keep up. Yeah.
yeah, like kid, like both of our wives have said it. Fucking when we fucking hook up and shit, and we start, when we're barbecuing or doing whatever the fuck we're doing, if we get too deep in the conversation, nobody around us can keep up. They'll both be sitting there like, how the fuck did they get there? Like, because we'll say shit without saying shit. Like, we'll start to lead in the direction of an idea, and he ain't got to finish the fucking sentence. I know where he's going with it. I jump to the next chapter, the next logical thought in that step, and we'll do that back and forth to each other to the point where everybody around us is fucking lost. They're like, I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about anymore.
Yo, that's how it be.
Yeah.
Yo, that's
And
how
not
it be
losing
when
peace.
Miz comes into the chat, yo. When Miz comes into the chat, yo, it always like we always have deep ass conversations, man.
Yeah, I love Miz to death, but the only thing I can't fuck with is I can never get a word in edgewise.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
starts to frustrate me.
yeah.
It starts to frustrate me. I'm like,
That
motherfucker, I
is
shut up
true.
when you was talking. Like, I had to fight myself from getting rude.
That is
I'm,
true.
I'm like, he's not doing it on
Once
purpose.
Miz starts going, that's what it is. Once he starts going, yo, they ain't no.
Yeah, he ain't hearing shit. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, but here's the, I don't know if anybody's watching. This that little bit of clip I got out of last night. The dude, that's the only one I can say anyway. Take the best picture out of him too. Just gonna play this one in a second. Oh, from who to who? I know you're AT&T right now. Hughes. I hope it's better. Yeah, don't fucking blame me.
What's the loophole?
The loophole that I know what she's talking about without even having a reference to it. It's the fucking uh, it's the very amendment that freed the slaves. There's a condition under the bottom of it. It says unless they're incarcerated.
Uh, yeah. That was part of the whole that whole plan system that they set up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because
You could.
yeah, because that's what back in the day, man, when they freed the slaves, saying that at the same time they built a shit ton of prisons, and it was just that's what they did. They freed the slaves, but then they built mad prisons and locked you up for anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff is just that's been out. That's been public knowledge, public information, man.
So a lot of times that's how motherfuckers try to hide shit though. They hide it in the details. The big story is this, but those little details, it's the fine print on a fucking contract. It's that shit at the very bottom of the page. It's almost too tiny to be legible, but it's on there, so it's a part of it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
They've been doing that shit forever with contracts.
yep.
Gonna switch over to 7